guy fucked me in a dumpster. Not in a dumpster. Next to a dumpster.
This is Drop Tent Media Network.
Filthy animal. That's hot.
At first, honest to God second, I thought that's how gay people referred to anal. I let him fuck me in the dumpster. I'm like, all right, dude. I'm like, I said it once, I'll say it before. The gays have figured out sex.
What are you talking about my velvet palate like that?
We're dating.
Okay.
All right, welcome to We're Dating.
We're dating.
We're dating.
We're dating.
Who are you?
I'm Rachel Peters. Who are you?
I'm Alejandro Morales.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
And who do we have with us today, Rachel?
I think we have Lou Misiano.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Can I true story. So I arrive here at 7:29, right? This is just how quick my brain like deteriorates into absolute insanity. So I get here 7:29. I call you, no answer. I made it to 7:34 before I sincerely thought, oh, Neil snapped and they're both dead. Like I honestly, I like sincerely thought that in my brain.
This is me trying to.
Isn't there like these myths about like covens of witches? They would fuck a man to death, right? They would like.
Yeah. I have said very recently that 3 women hanging out is just a good time, but 4 women hanging out is a witches. Is a witch. It's a witch gathering. We're just a witches. Oh man, yeah. No, honestly, there's a power that happens when 5 women are in a room together.
Speaking of getting fucked to death, we're talking about our younger years.
Oh yeah.
Lou, you ever like go so hard when you were younger that you maybe passed out a little bit?
Or maybe
No. I had the coke to keep me up, brother. I just kept on going.
And you could get hard on that?
I was about to say,
no.
you being able to get hard on coke,
No,
that's
no,
like
no,
your
no,
superpower.
No, that does not happen.
But
yeah, that's such an because on my way here I was thinking about like, all right, what are things that I would want to talk about? And this kind of goes into like what the topic of discussion is today. Does body count affect the way that you date?
Ooh.
Like, is that a thing that you factor in when you are looking for a romantic partner?
Oh, do I factor like
Yes.
I want my partner
does it matter to you in any way, shape, or form? Whether it matters to you, you want it low or whether you want it high. I'm curious because I live in my bubble. So like,
sure.
You know, like you have your thoughts. So it's like, because you're not mentally connected with everyone else, you're like, oh, everyone thinks like this, right?
Yeah.
I think I just need somebody to not care.
That's where I'm at.
Because I was a huge hoey little slut for about, honestly, and even in my last like year and a half that I've been single, I I did it. I fucking did it, and I did it a lot and often, and not always well. But it was one of those things where it was like, I just need somebody who's like, who's so secure that they're like, yeah, you fucked. Obviously, look at you.
Right.
If anything, I need somebody who's been like, look at you. Of course, you've had a lot of sex.
That's a compliment.
Yeah. Honestly, if somebody's like, yeah, you fucked.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that.
I think this is definitely a more salient conversation for straight people.
I was just going to bring this up.
I have never with another gay man sat down and talked about what our body count might be. Never.
Right.
Only for you guys to high five at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've joked about it with gay friends, like because we all think like I definitely think I've hooked up with at least 1,000 dudes.
Are you kidding? 1,000?
Yeah, I mean, since I started hooking up in 1996, yeah, for sure. And I'm not butt stuff, not like penetrative sex, but like hand stuff and like mouth stuff. Counting that, definitely like.
Wait, hold on. Mouth stuff meaning like mouth to dick or mouth to mouth?
Mouth to dick.
Okay.
No, yeah, kissing.
Yeah, what are you, a fucking Mormon? Oh, mouth to mouth. You mouth stuff. Do you mean friendship?
We're talking about our younger years. Okay.
Oh, I was a whore. You guys kissed?
Jed, stop right there. How many people have you kissed?
Jedediah, no.
But dude, the gays figured out sex.
Well,
you guys literally, you figured it out. I feel like that because that's a very, like you said, it's a salient conversation between straight people. I feel like the gays are just like, I'm going to suck your dick right now. Also, I'm Bill. It's like, yeah,
by
dude.
the way,
yeah, that's fantastic.
Like after the fact, like, yeah, my name is Bill.
Yeah.
That was great.
Wait, so do you give a shit?
Not at all.
Okay, good for you.
Nor should you.
Well, actually, okay. Well, I'll say this. I'm with you. It is more, I am, just because of my history, I would feel more comfortable with someone that doesn't necessarily have my body count, but someone that has been around and has, done done some stupid shit and has had a one night stand every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Right. And
Like
also what some people see as like, oh, you've like fucked around. It's like what I see, experience.
Right.
You know what you're doing at this point.
Exactly.
All right. So when did you get to the point, do you think, where you would no longer take someone's virginity? Was there a hard?
Because that was funny. I was thinking about that, and I was like, it's just I'll never do it. I'm not at that age now where I simply will never do that.
I took a guy's virginity when he was 20 and I was 20, and he lied to me about it. And the way that he fucking spiraled after.
Wait, what do you mean lied about it? Like,
we were about to have sex, and I literally went, wait a second, before we do this, are you a virgin? And he went, no.
Just like that? No.
You took Mr. Magoo's virginity?
I literally I believed him like an idiot. And I was just like, yeah, okay. And then I fucked him. And then we hooked up for about 3-4 months. And then I found out he wasn't going to be coming back to my school in the fall. So I was just like, hey, it was really, really great. I just don't think we should continue this. And he was just like, we were at a toga party. He stomps out of his toga and he just goes, Rachel, you took my V card. You act like that means nothing to you. And I was like,
you didn't know.
I didn't know. And then also furthermore, no, it means nothing to me. It's just sex.
Wait, how many V cards do you have?
4.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What about you?
Not a lot. I mean, definitely 2 from high school. Definitely, I was the first guy that my high school friends that I hooked up with had hooked up with. I hope. Imagine if there was like a whole
hot little lie,
secret gay underground that I wasn't even privy to. That would be kind of hot.
I was gonna say.
So probably I think those 2, and then no, probably not after that. I mean, I've been approached, especially now that I'm approaching ancient. There's a certain brand of very young gay men, 19, 20, 21. They're like, I like dads. I like daddies. And I've been propositioned to take somebody's virginity, but I have no desire. I wouldn't at this point at 43. I don't want to take somebody's virginity. I don't want to take.
But how do you feel about sleeping with a 19 or 18-year-old?
I mean,
again, the gays figured it out.
It's not from. I know. I've never been attracted to younger men. Even when I was in my 20s, my first boyfriend was 33. I was 22.
Okay.
So I've always been into men. Even now, I feel so much growing into my attraction towards daddies. I feel more comfortable than I ever have. Just seeing the gray that develops on the side and going I want a little bit of an aged. It's really not for me, a younger dude.
Yeah.
Wait, so is daddy a blanket term in the gay community for someone who's just older? Because you just said that guys will look at you and think daddy, and now you're looking at older guys and thinking daddy. Is there a tier?
Younger guys and thinking daddy. Okay. I'm looking at guys in their 30s. I'm yeah, papa.
Also,
at your point, is it I look at them and be father?
If you're a real man, you're daddy to me. Right. If you're manlier than I am, you're daddy.
Fair enough.
That's pretty juice. Yeah.
What about you? How would sleeping with an 18 or 19-year-old?
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, also too, I'm a woman with a vagina and I want to come.
Whoa. Back up. You can come?
No, I just I didn't start coming in during sex until I was 28.
Right.
And so I remember having sex with dudes who barely had any idea what they're doing. They're just panicking and seizuring around my fucking clit. And I'm just like, can you please get it together? But I wasn't old enough to have the language to be get your shit together. And so I think when I was 28 years old, I started hooking up with my now ex who was just great with context clues.
Oh.
And I remember I was just you kind of just have to be it's not you don't point at it you're putting your finger on something. It's more like a friction thing. He was like, okay. And then he would eat me out and I'd be like, how did you know how to do that? He's like, I just, it seemed like you weren't into friction. So I just sort of used my tongue. And I was like, you're a genius.
I mean, that's the only thing that defines good sex.
Yeah.
Is reading body language.
And
that's literally all it takes.
Oh my God.
And that's the thing too, is bad sex is when, and I'm, I think that as a dude, I think it happens more on the dude side of things where it's they're just so focused on themselves feeling good. And I guess we're conditioned, maybe through porn or whatever, for guys to be this is how arrogant dudes are. It's if I'm feeling good, must be good for her. It's no, the fuck it isn't.
Right.
But yeah, that's all it is. It's just all you have to do is just read body language correctly and you will have good sex.
When did you figure out how to read body language?
I got lucky. So I was romantically involved with a 33-year-old when I was 22.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got a crash course in taking my time and like relaxing, and it's like, and sort of having sex be more of an event as opposed to like a destination, right? So it's like a lot of dudes, and, you know, and again, I'm going to paint with broad brushstrokes for dudes because that's what I am. I mean, I'm sure there's some women out there that may think the same way, but I think a lot of men, the whole purpose of sex is to come. And like, don't get me wrong, that's an important part.
Right.
But it's like, if you stop viewing it as the destination, it's the perfect example of it's the journey, not the destination.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
I mean? I never like masturbate to coming. I masturbate to what, like to the spank bank memories of like a moment during sex that was a hot moment. It's not just like when you have an orgasm. It's like something hot that happens during the act.
Yeah,
that's why you're having sex.
Oh, that's funny. I masturbate to coming.
Do you really?
Oh my God, dude. So the only way I come, this is so fucking hilarious. Not lame, maybe, but so I only I exclusively watch POV porn. That's it.
Wow.
Okay.
I have been a POVsman forever since I started watching porn.
Interesting.
And what I do is when I masturbate, I time my comes to when the guy comes, which I think in my head, I think it helps me insert myself into the fantasy more, but it also makes me realize that for the last 15 years, I've only been coming to guys being like, that's it.
It's great. I love the look on a man. I could never watch POV porn because I live for the stupid look on a man's face when he has an orgasm.
Oh my God.
That for me is half of it. He's going, I'm gonna.
I don't like my cum face, and I've unfortunately been very privy to what it is over the years. But because like a dude's is like, ugh, but like mine is like, this is a lot of
like
pain.
You're bracing.
Yeah, like I'm bracing for impact.
Like you just saw a car accident. Like, fuck.
It's the worst. But I will say, like, so like my porn taste over the years has like shifted. Where like when I wasn't coming often during sex, but I did like rough sex, I really liked it to see women kind of get brutalized. Ooh. But then I started coming during sex, and now I just like watching dudes eating chicks out.
Oh, it's hot.
But specifically old dudes.
Okay.
Still old men. That's a part of my brain that's just broken forever.
Oof.
It's just like some.
I don't know what my face is, but I'm a cursor.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, you're a fuck.
Fuck. Fucking shit.
Oh, fuck.
You know what else I've been putting in my repertoire in my later years is to say their name.
Ooh, that's a good move.
Big one.
It's very good.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some of the hottest things I've ever had.
It just makes it more like
Sheila.
Yes, Sheila. I was banging one of the pink ladies from Greece.
Just you in the beauty school dropout.
That's right. I'm just like, tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. But yeah, because I think it makes it, and also like sex was such like just to make it full circle here, sex was such an impersonal thing for me for so long that it's like when I say someone's name, it kind of like helps me like stay in the moment and realize that I'm doing this because it's fun and it's pleasurable. I'm not doing this to help justify my masculinity in some fucked up alpha male sort of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't know we were talking to an evolved man. So what did you do when you were younger and you were like you first started having sex?
What do you mean?
Like what level?
I would put my penis in their vagina. I thought that was a good start.
Okay, Richard Lewis. All right, you fucking. Okay. Were you like selfish? Were you like speed master?
No,
You seem like a speed demon.
I was not selfish because I'm selfish. And by that I mean like the way that I would get off is the way that getting you off gets me off
from the get-go.
Yeah.
That's great.
I want you to have a good time. Now, have I always practiced what I preach? Not necessarily.
Okay.
But that's always been in the back of my mind is I want you to have a good time. Not again, it's unselfish for being selfish or for being selfish rather is, obviously I want you to have fun, but there's that part of my brain that's just like, yeah, you're goddamn right. Mm-hmm. You are goddamn right. And I've also been a big proponent of like, if we're not, because don't get me wrong, like I've had my moments, like I can definitely be a speed demon for sure.
Yeah.
But my mentality was always like, okay, well then we're going to go round 2 for sure. Like we will not go to bed until
Ladies, Lou Misiano, single. If you ever
Okay, no, that was also my earlier years. Now I'll come and I'll be like, Kimmel's on. I gotta go to bed. No, I'm kidding. But
me and my lover, we do. I'm gonna say lover. Can I just fucking just say
I love
lover?
it. Honestly, there was such a shift.
Like,
but I appreciate it. I think that this is more in tow of what you guys have going on.
Wait, but real quick, what does lover entail?
Okay, so in this instance, it's my weed dealer who I've been sleeping with for 14 years. He's been married and divorced since I've known him, and now we're getting slightly more serious. But it's really just mostly a thing that we get together, we smoke weed, and we fool around. But now sometimes we have dinner too. So things are getting really
slow burn.
It's a real slow burn on that.
14 years.
14 years.
Burn.
So he's not my boyfriend.
Right.
He's not like calling him my dealer is so it's feeling mean to me at this point and be like, he's my dealer. He's more than my dealer, clearly.
Right.
So lover feels the most apt because that's what we do. We're back.
So do you want to get more serious? Does he want to get more serious, or is it sort of like if it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it? Like, who cares? We're happy now. Why put labels on things?
I think I'm more of the it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right. And I think he's a little bit more because he was married and divorced. So I think he's in the mindset of like, let's get back into another long-term situation with somebody. But I think we would still stay open. I think that's the one thing that has worked out for us the most is not being jealous and like being okay with the other person doing stuff.
There's one thing I know about drug dealers. They are committed. They are committed people.
Yeah. Now that, I sometimes I forget to stop and think and be like, that's kind of cool. Like I hook up with my drug dealers. Like it's a one-stop shop. It's perfect.
Right. You go, you buy your weed, you get a little bit of head. He gives a little head. Maybe also you have dinner now.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. We're getting it all.
Also, like to take care of your munchies while also taking care of all your other needs.
But speaking of like the theme of what we've been talking about, like we met when we were much younger. Like I'm 43 and he's 45 now. We met in 2010.
Early 30s.
Yes, we were. So it was a totally different era for us, and the timing was not right for us to be intimate, like emotionally, because like we met, we started dating, we had incredible sex, but then like. It just did not work as a relationship. Like but like after 14 years, we've both grown as people. So now like, it's like, oh, we could actually now do this. We know each other really well. The sex is still fucking mind blowing. After 14 years, that I cannot take that for granted.
Oh my God. The longevity is unheard of.
Yeah.
See, but that is also a nice thing. I remember I dated a girl for 3 months in high school, and, then we broke up, and then I ran into her like a few years later, and we slept, and it's some of the best sex I ever had, because it's like you get to like come with like this arsenal of just like, here's what I've learned from the past so and so years. Bam. And that's great. Did you ever this is actually a good question for both of you. Did you guys ever use sex for some sort of like mental satisfaction or assurance? Like did you use it for stuff other than, and that's when I think that sex becomes unhealthy, is when you use it for something outside of just the physical pleasure or just the fun of it.
I have an answer, but I want you to go first. Sir?
Yeah, of course I have. I mean,
of course I've used sex.
Of course I've used sex. No, I think I like spent so much time of like my more promiscuous life just feeling validated because I mean, vulnerable. I never thought that when I first started stand up was funny enough to be there.
Right. Still
so
not,
I would fuck you. How dare you? But I would fuck dudes that I found funny in the hopes that maybe some of their funniness would rub off on me.
Interesting.
It's like it was like weirdly psychological, but I was just like, I'll fuck this guy who's really funny, and I'll fuck this guy who's really funny, and then maybe because of that I'll get respect. And of course that's not how it works. And then I stopped doing that, and I think that was the only time I've ever like used sex in a way that like wasn't even for fun. Or not even for me. Like it was just sort of like, I'll just do it. And like, it was unfulfilling ultimately. And I didn't even get to have sex with anybody who became famous, because in Philly, a couple people sort of really took off. None of the people I had sex with.
That's too bad. I had sex with Shane Gillis, and so I'll always have our special night together.
You'll always have that one special night with Shane. It's just called One Night with Shane.
Just kidding. Imagine getting a season
watch
for
him.
fucking Gillis.
He's like, he's our third subscriber.
Yeah, he's like,
Gillis.
can't believe Alejandro, you're lying on my name right now. You're such a fucking star fucker.
Oh my god.
No, I did a bad thing, Lou. I did a bad thing. And Rachel, I did a the last podcast we talked about, there was this bartender that me and my boyfriend hooked up with. It was his first night bartending at the gay nightclub. So we got him on night one before he like sledded out with everybody else.
Right, that's going on.
Yeah, so we got him night one, but I caught feelings like right away.
Oof.
So I tried to dump my boyfriend and get with this bartender, and it did not work out because the bartender was on night one of working at a gay nightclub. He wanted to sample the rest of the fucking wares.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, it's me now, isn't it? No, okay. But so what I did was that he ended up dating somebody, this other fellow. And they were like in like a very volatile, like dramatic on and off, on again, off again kind of a thing. But the guy that he was dating was into me. So I fucked him to get closer to the bartender that I still like had feelings for.
You fucking
really?
Oh my god,
shit.
you messy toxic.
I've never
How
done
old were
this.
you?
I was like 20 or 21, and I let the guy fuck me in a dumpster. Not in a dumpster, next to a dumpster. Which is better, right? That's better.
Get in that dumpster.
Is next to a dumpster.
You filthy
outside
animal.
of the,
that's hot.
I first,
yeah,
honest to God, second, I thought that's how gay people referred to anal. I let him fuck me in the dumpster. I'm like, all right, dude. I'm like, I said it once, I'll say it before. The gays have figured out sex.
What are you talking about? My velvet palate like that?
Your velvet palate.
See, this has gotten way darker and more Machiavellian than I thought it was going to go, because I've never used sex in that sort of like a manipulative, vengeful way before.
So you haven't lived. No, but
well, some of that funny rubbed off there. Right?
But no, it's like, I don't know, like it was like early days, but then like also I think like if anything, like I don't know if you believe in karma or if you believe in karma, but like I think that was partially karmic retribution for the amount of boys in high school that I would make out with that would have huge crushes on me, and after making out, even in the middle, I would just go, hey, stop, just so you know, I'm only horny, I don't like you.
I can't believe you. I cannot believe you.
Do you want to hear an even more fucked up one? Once there was this boy who had a huge crush on me. And so I pulled him into the computer room because I knew nobody was in there. Pulled his pants down, sucked his dick for like
Rachel
2 minutes.
How old were you?
I was like 16, 17. Sucked his dick for like 2 minutes, pulled his pants back up and left.
Oh, that's hot. That's a hot form of teasing.
If he was 16, he didn't come?
No.
In 2 minutes?
No.
That's a weak head game. You can't make
he'd like jerked off that morning.
Blow a 16-year-old for 2 minutes?
I love it. You're making fun of me. No, I didn't.
So wait, so Lou, you have not used sex in any kind
I've
of
never weaponized sex before.
Oh,
ever.
wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, surprising.
I mean, I've never been like too romantically involved to like really weaponize it for any reason. I will say this. Okay. I guess maybe the closest I got was, so when I was younger, I was one of those kids that always felt like they were older. Okay. You know what I mean? Which can be very, very fucking annoying. And I look back on that and I'm like, I was an insufferable cunt for many years. But I always identified with older people. I always got along with older people more. And then when that things didn't work out with that older woman that I was telling you about, it was the first time that I had ever felt my age. And my mentality became, okay, well, if this is the first time that I feel 23, I'm going to act like I'm 23. And that is when my journey as a seasoned fuckboy began. So wow. I guess in terms of having someone else affect the way that I have sex with different people, yeah, I guess in that sort of way. I guess I still wouldn't call that weaponizing, because I wasn't doing it to get back at her or for any reason.
No.
But I mean, that was the catalyst for me to be like, okay, well then here we go. Now we're going to get drunk every night and start acting like I'm in my early 20s.
Well, yeah, these are acting my age.
Right. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think like, gosh. Yeah, more of like my own weaponizing was like younger, but I definitely, I don't know. I had a thing of like needing to prove myself because I was like,
See, that's what I have.
yeah. And like since I became single like a year and a half ago, I was just like, I'm going to make up for the lost time. Cause I was basically dating nonstop for about 6 years, despite the fact that I was in like 3 different relationships. I can call it 2. One was only 6 months, but you know, I was in like a bunch of different relationships where I was just like consistently monogamous. And then I got to the point where I was like, I'm going to have sex again. Like I like it. And then like, it's just not as fun. It's just not as fun.
Right.
Even though the sex is technically better,
Is it though?
Yes.
Like, is it?
Yes. I'm sorry. You didn't go from not coming to coming. So yeah, it's better.
That's good.
I went from not coming ever to dudes knowing what the fuck to do and me knowing what the fuck to tell them to do. But like, you know, like it was better in the sense that it was technically better, but it was worse in the sense that I was letting more people down because when I knew I didn't like them, it was because I didn't like them and not because I was sexually unsatisfied.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's mature.
That's a big step forward.
It felt good.
But
and
it's
then,
nice. I'm sorry. Continue.
I was gonna say, and then a milk boy. I've got a joke about this dude whose favorite drink is milk. But I now call him Milk Boy. I ran into him a couple months ago, and it was like a really nice little thing. He was like, because I ended it maturely. I was just like, hey, I'm not into you anymore. I'm really sorry. And he was just like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, hey. And then I had a picture of me drinking milk on New Year's Eve when I was really drunk, and I like showed him, and we like had a good laugh about it. But like that's the difference between like 31 and like 21.
Sure.
31, I'm like, what's up, dude? How's it going? 21, I ghosted you. I didn't talk to you for 6 months, and all of a sudden I see you again. I avoid eye contact while I do fucking vodka Red Bulls and make out with another stranger at the bar. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I've done some rash shit. I mean, when I was like 21 or 22, there was this guy that used to go to the gay bar, the one that I got fucked outside of a dumpster next to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was called the Congress. It was only gay on Thursdays. It was by Vassar College in Poughkeepsie, New York. Shout out Poughkeepsie, P-Town. So I would, there was this like SUNY New Paltz student there, and he was like 6'4", and like I am a basic faggot. I'm sorry. It's just like we're getting the podcast is getting shut down because I said the F word. I was so I was like, he's tall. I want to climb him. I like tall dudes. And I thought he was like a little bit out of my league. So I actually turned up the charm a million degrees. And that never really works for me, except for sometimes. You ever do that? Like you're like, I'm gonna fucking charm the shit. And then like it actually works. And I won over this guy who was a little bit out of my league. Okay. And it got him to like me, and we went out on some dates. And finally, like he came to my mom. I was living in my mom's basement at the time. And he came home with me to like hook up in my mom's basement. And I took out his dick, and it was like literally like the size of my pinky. Oh. And I was frightened. I was horrified. I was scared. It was just weird. I remember the moment.
Small, it was terrifying.
It was because that's not what I expected. I thought
it's the small scorpions that'll kill you. Okay, it's the tiny ones.
No, because I thought that if you were tall, it meant that you had a bigger dick.
No.
I'm looking at Neil. I'm like, Neil?
All three of us just went.
I assumed, and I had that assumption in my head. I was like, there's no way. Right. In my imagination, there was no way that this guy was going to have like a micro peen, and he did. And I was, again, immature. I was not kind or thoughtful or empathetic in my response. I was like, I recoiled.
Oh, fuck.
I did. I physically recoiled from it because I was like, what the fuck? I never touched anything that was like that before. And then I did. And then I ghosted him. And then like 8 months later, we were like talking on a AIM on AOL Messenger. And he had found someone who like loved that he had like a little dick, and he like flaunted it to me, and he like kind of like put me in my place. But like I had it coming. He was like, yeah, I found somebody who fucking appreciates me and likes me.
It sounds like you didn't have it coming.
I had nothing coming.
All right, wait. So this is a great question to ask a straight woman and a gay man. Can you walk me through the stages of grief, or walk me through the acceptance and disappointment that you go through when you take someone home, or you take a male home, and they have a small little pee-pee?
Now, see, it's all about. In that situation, it was like we were both like college kids, and we were like flirting. It was very, it was so wholesome, and that's why it kind of got ruined by this like you know, we were just both so insecure about sex, and I reacted poorly, and then he didn't really know how to react. But like, I've hooked up with guys who had like small dicks. I hooked up with a New York NYPD police officer who had like a, I don't know, 4.5 inch dick. It was not big,
Really
but he was an asshole cop. So I didn't care because he like acted like it was huge. He loved for me to pretend it was like too much for me. He loved to like tease me with it. So he had that confidence to be like, it superseded the fact that like maybe his dick was like, could have been disappointing in another context. It didn't occur to me to be disappointed by it because he was so confident that I would fucking love it. So I was like, well, I guess I fucking do love it.
Well, I think there are two answers to this for me, and that's before I was able to teach somebody how to make me come, and then after. And for me, before, I came across one, and it was so disappointing that every time I tried to have sex, I dried up and I ghosted him. I literally ghosted him because there's nothing about like when you're having sex with a dude who has a really big dick, particularly one that has like a little bit of curvature, it can hit spots that will make.
You just said like a black lady at church. Preach.
It can hit spots that, you know, not every dick can hit. So like small dick before that. But now, honestly, if you have a small dick but you can make me come, my pussy's so sensitive and just like happy to be there.
Hell yeah.
So like now you make me come with your 4-inch penis afterwards. And honestly, if you have a predominant head, all bets are off.
Great.
Because I just need to feel that. Yeah, that's I'm just thinking about it now.
I am just looking at two evolved, you know.
Well, so how do you feel when like
when I see a small dick, I'm like, how did this get here?
No, I mean like
all right, I guess.
Have you had like, I guess when in Rome, like have you had an evolution in how confidently you sort of like present it? Like did it fill you with anxiety to show it for the first time?
So I didn't have the small issue, but I'm uncircumcised. Right.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, yes, I was very self-conscious about that because my friends would always bust my balls about it. And, you know, women at that time, it's strange to them. It's foreign, you know what I mean? Like they're not used to, you know, if you have not, unless you're fucking sucking 16 years old, you know, you're not familiar. So obviously it's like the minute and normally it's like when it is hard, it pulls back and it's like, you really can't tell the difference. But yeah, that was a thing that I was very, very self-conscious about for a very long time. And it wasn't until I would say, yeah, maybe like 24, 25, where I just let all that go. And like, it just stopped becoming an issue because women stopped commenting on it because by the time you're 24, 25, you've probably seen enough dicks, maybe not an uncircumcised one, but you know that they, at that point, they come in all shapes, all sizes. They're all, you know, it's all different.
Yeah. And to be fair, I dated somebody once with an uncircumcised penis and his dick was so massive. And I don't know if that, you know, sort of lends to it, but just so you know, the stereotype about you is that it's usually bigger.
No.
I haven't had many complaints. I will say I shower a lot.
That's okay.
I shower all the time. I'm showering constantly.
That is good of you.
You never know.
You never do know. The second guy I hooked up with in high school, he was on the wrestling team and he was uncircumcised, but he did not have the best hygiene.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Some of the girls would call him fish dick.
Yeah, you can't do that. you can't do that. You disturb the guy. I remember there was one time where I matched with a girl on Bumble and I was working a double at Budokan. And we met up afterwards and we started hooking up and stuff. And then she went down to give me a blowjob and I stopped her. And I said, you don't need to. And she was like, why, what's wrong? And I was like, I just, unless you want to let me take a shower, I just worked a double at a high volume restaurant.
Good for you.
Promise you,
Wow.
don't.
So considerate of you to say that.
Very considerate.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do I consider myself Christ-like?
But look, that's what I love so much. I love a naked body fresh out of the shower.
Yeah, I mean, so
there are people, and like, I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum, but there are people out there like they love a musk,
they love
they love like they love some schmegma. They like a foreskin that is like a stinky. Mostly gay men will do that.
I used to work with a I used to work with a chef. So take this with a grain of salt. But he was
psychotic.
Yeah, because he's a fucking absolute insane person. But he'd be like, yeah, man. Right before, every time I tell my girlfriend I want to eat her pussy, I make her run around the block first. And I was like, okay.
I see shit like that all the time.
I don't get that one for sure. I get like, I don't know, like if I went on a run, but like that's the one I get the most often. Like when I go on a run, if I come back and a dude's like, I want to fuck you sweaty after a run.
Yeah. Wow.
But that's just hot for me.
I mean, I get that.
Covered in sweat. And I'm just like, yeah, lay me down.
So,
but I've usually showered within like the day before.
So it's just like that one like sweat. Yeah, that's still pretty hot.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So like if you are going down on someone and their hygiene is not up to code, do you bail or do you just kind of crack your fingers and go, this is what we play for?
Oh, I bail.
Let's go.
I'm a bailer.
See, I'm a warrior. I'm a fucking warrior.
Oh, dude, I'll get out of there because like musky dick is rough.
I've also done so much.
Musky pussy is rough too.
I've done so much cocaine that my nose is destroyed. So like it really doesn't bother me too much.
God bless you.
But yeah, but no, I was also with that, and that's the thing that really annoys me, and I hope as you've gotten older, it's not so much of an issue, but this is the benefit of having women as best friends for like my whole life, is that like as a straight dude, it almost feels like I was handed like the cheat codes almost of just like, hey, do this, they'll love you. No, they wouldn't just outright say it, but like just being in conversations and just kind of being a fly on the wall. I would just like sit there and listen to them like talk about the shitty things that dudes do. And you just kind of make a mental checklist of like, okay, don't do that. Like at your age, do you still find guys will be like, I'm not going to fuck you, you're on your period? Because that is bananas to me.
Weirdly enough, I'm the one that's more like, don't fuck me, I'm on my period.
I thought that women were more horny on their period.
No, day 1 and day 2, I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm like a fucking hemorrhaging.
Well, I get that because you don't feel sexy.
No, I don't.
That
but
makes
honestly,
sense.
by day 3, I'm just like, fuck the living bejesus out of me.
Right.
Okay, there we go.
I'm way hornier by day 3. But yeah, no, I don't run across it that much.
Okay. Is that something that you did come in contact with when you were younger?
Never.
Never.
No, I went to fucking art school. Dudes were horny and willing and almost
right and like, ugly. You were hotter than all of them. So they were just like, I'm just happy to be here. I can't wait to paint this later.
The Red Wings.
Yeah.
I definitely.
Oh, dude, I've had moments where I picked my head up and I look like the Joker. I got that fucking.
Whoa, see that I don't have that. No, I've fucked a lot of dudes in my period, but I've never had a dude be like, I want to eat you out, and I'm like,
I don't want to,
but you will.
But the guys didn't want to storm the beach at Omaha, but they fucking did for the freedom of this fucking world.
So for D-Day, you eat.
When the fucking
for D-Day, you eat bloody pussy.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You know, when the ramp drops, you can't sit there in the fucking boat like, I don't want to go. You fucking pick up your M1 and you charge the fucking beach.
Oh, this is fucking war.
Yeah, exactly. See, but again, but this,
damn, I'm eating fucking bloody pussy.
But this again, it goes back to, you know, like I said, the whole theme of this is, you know, so I don't know if you guys know this, I'm not a strong man. Right. And I hate to say this, but and I don't know if it was, I don't want to necessarily call it toxic masculinity because I never felt like I was a manipulator. You know what I mean? Which I feel like kind of goes under the umbrella of toxicity.
Yeah.
But yeah, like having sex made me feel like a man. You know what I mean? And that's why I really fell into like a bad relationship. Excuse me. With sex is because I was using it to justify my masculinity. It's that like, I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a strong guy, but how do I feel like an alpha male? I can fuck.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that's where that stems from.
If that's how it is.
She's like, well, if that's how you feel like
but that's what I do. You know what I mean? I see, you go, you go out to a bar and it's like, it's that dumb fucking like male competition
conquest.
Thing. Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, that's the only way that I would get it out is fucking online gaming and fucking fucking. So it's like, yeah, it's like you'd see a big, you know, fucking buff, like, oh, I'm cool as fuck type of guy at a bar.
Yeah.
In my brain, it's like, I'm better at you because I'm funny and I can fuck more women than you.
Yeah.
which becomes an unhealthy relationship with sex when you're doing it for reasons other than the fact like, hey, this feels good and it's fun. And also intimacy, and I feel close with my life partner, fucking whatever. You know, when you start using it as a means to justify your existence on the earth, that's when it becomes unhealthy. And I lived in that space for a very, very long time.
Also, like the love addict thing. Like I was never like a competitive person, but I was a love addict. And so like I would be fucking somebody and I would feel so much that I would just go, I love you.
Yeah.
And I would just start saying it. And I don't think, other than one other person, I've never said I love you without it being during sex for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's because of that, I don't really feel as if I've ever loved anybody like so fully, because it's so linked to like we're fucking right now.
Right.
It's hot, but it's like, but I've held it back more as this time around. I'm like, no.
Oh, I've said some pretty stupid shit while having sex.
Oh, what's the stupidest thing you've said while you were inside someone?
Oh, haha. Right. I was sleeping with a friend's friend who was a therapist. Don't. But we were, we were having sex. She was on top of me, and mid thrust, she just starts sobbing.
Oh.
Like uncontrollably sobbing.
Oh my God.
And so in my head, I immediately go into panic mode where I'm like, did I do something? Like, again, this goes back to what I was saying. It's like, I just want you to have a good time.
Sure,
so if I'm doing something that is making you cry, this is not fucking okay. Like, tell me what's going on. And she just starts going, you don't understand. Like, all these men, they fall in love with me. And like, I don't know if I can do that with another person. And I don't want to have that conversation. And this is such a good example of a guy being like, say this will fix everything. So while inside of her, I looked at her and I went, oh my God, don't worry. This means nothing.
Oh my God.
Like, I was just like, oh, mortified.
Did you finish? No, you had to leave immediately.
I honestly don't. I sincerely don't remember. But,
Okay.
but yeah, that was no, I couldn't leave. It was my apartment. What am I going to do? Run errands at 2 a.m.? I can't fucking.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, that was a fucking like, oh God, I can't believe I said that to another while inside. But also, fuck you a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Males
fall in love with me. I almost cracked my knuckles like, honey, you must not know about me.
Okay, well, we're at this point in our podcast where we're gonna do a
Drink
fun...
another Topo Chico?
Well, I'm already on to that.
Okay. I'm light. Do you want one?
Yeah, let's do another
all right,
one.
come on. We'll do one more for while we wrap this up.
Okay.
Woo.
Okay, so we're gonna talk. So we do a sex position review. We review a sex position.
Okay.
And we have a random generator.
Okay.
And it's gonna be
doggy style.
What about it?
Review. What do you think about it?
I remember. So when I lost my virginity, it was in the passenger side seat of my Nissan Sentra at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Monday. And I don't have a good relationship with sex.
Was it in a parking lot?
No, it was in the woods.
Oh,
yes.
That's scenic.
Yeah.
Why don't you like open up the door and do the fucking like door open kind of porn star thing? With it?
Yeah.
No, dude, I was a child.
How old are you? Wait, how old are you?
I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first few times that I had sex, I had never done doggy style. And I vividly remember I was with my then girlfriend in high school and we did doggy style. And as soon as I put it in, my brain just went, okay, well, this forever. Like my brain couldn't comprehend. And like, that is proof that there is a loving and just God, is the fact that not only does it feel and look awesome for dudes.
Yeah.
Or not, I shouldn't say dudes, for the guy, for the person that's doing the fucking, but apparently with the way that everything is angled, it actually feels the best for the woman. And again, every woman's like a snowflake. They're all different.
Yeah. Or the bottom, or the man.
Yes.
Or the man.
Yeah.
But from what I'm to understand, like that is definitively the best position. Now, is it the most intimate? fuck no, which is why it's the best. But but yeah, and like that to me is always you know, because I've been a one night stand guy for most of my sexual history is one night stands, which means that I was probably drunk. And doggy is that moment where you can flip them around, they're looking this way, and we can have a good time, but also just collect our thoughts. You know what I mean? Because you're not face to face.
Sure.
So you can just be sitting there just like, okay, like where am I? Like look for an address somewhere.
Where are the fire exits?
What's going on? Yeah.
If something happens, where do I?
Right. So it's nice. It's like, it's so, you know, what's really funny about doggy style is that like you're having sex. So obviously there's a level of intimacy to it, but because you're kind of the farthest away that you can be while inside of someone, there is like this weird solitary moment that you can have when
I think it's meditative.
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You know, that's when I start, you know, thinking about books that I've read, you know, sort of like just, you know, you can really, it is.
That's me time. That's
me.
for me.
But yeah, exactly. But that, you know, that's so funny. It's like, and again, I can only speak from my own experience, but yeah, that is very funny to think about is that like, it is the sexual position that I think broad brush stroke painting wise feels the best for both people, but it is also the most detached.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair for me, that's like my finisher move. I'm just like, just get it done. And so I throw somebody behind me, and then I kind of just like, I get on my elbows immediately.
And you arch your back.
And I arch my back. Stop it. Have you seen me? I get on my elbows, I arch my back, and then I just start making vague moaning noises. Like,
Wait, so you do not like doggy style?
I love doggy style because I know it's almost over.
Oh my God. I also love doggy style. I love it because
are you?
Am I at the top or a bottom?
I was going to ask.
I'm mostly a side. Mostly hand stuff, mouth stuff, but I'm versatile. I have F people. I have gotten F.
Right, you're the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the Swiss Army knife.
I'm the Swiss Army knife that would rather just do a blowjob. Can we just? Do we have to get the lube out? Really,
relax?
Brother? From your lips to God's ear.
No muss, no fuss. But yeah, so doggy style is my number one favorite. It's the first when I lost my virginity. It was my virginity getting effed in my beehole.
In your dumpster.
My dumpster when we were in the dumpster together. It was doggy style, and it was the only time I've ever had an orgasm from getting penetrated. It was my first time when I was 17. And the hot thing about it was, right? So he's effing me, right?
He's effing me.
So
I don't know why I hate
censoring
that
this
so much, but I do.
And
sounds like you got fucked on Sesame Street. Today's letter is F.
He was just like a giant foam letter F.
I don't ever chime in on this podcast, but I love that he does it because he's done it every time and no one's commented on it.
I get prudish weirdly about so I'd never gotten fucked in the ass before, and so I didn't know what it was supposed to feel like or what was supposed to happen. And as he's doing it, I start getting this feeling welling up in my body that I'm about to take a piss. I felt like I was about to pee, and I start pulling away, and I'm like, stop! I think I'm gonna pee. And he does this thing. Oh, in retrospect, so hot. 1996. He grabs me by my hips and pulls me back like, oh no, you don't. I'm fucking you. And then I fucking come. I came fucking like the most I've ever like come in my entire life. It was like Scary Movie.
Not to hop on your cum story, but like literally before I figured out that I could squirt, the only time I ever came during sex was from doggy style.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But then now I know that I can do that. And so when I'm on top, I'm a cowgirl squirter.
Okay. All right. So popular position, doggy style.
Yeah.
Dave a horse. I'm a squirter.
So I'm honestly, doggy style gets like a 8 out of 10.
Wait, what could be better?
Doggy style gets 10 out of 10. You're right. Who am I talking to? Yeah.
And it's also nice too that there's so many there's variations of it.
Yeah. No, fuck reverse. We actually.
No, I'm not. What do you mean?
Never mind. I got
no. Explain to me what
cowgirl,
reverse doggy style is.
What's reverse?
Because you want to talk about pegging. I'll talk about pegging. Oh, it's on my list.
Have you been pegged?
No, it's on my list though.
Oh.
Everything a woman has done to my butthole thus far has been chef's kiss.
Have you never? Okay, what has a woman done to your butthole?
It's gotten eaten.
Okay.
It's gotten fingered.
Okay.
What else could there be?
Finger in it.
Yeah.
Okay. During ejaculation.
What's no, but I did have a woman eat my ass while I ejaculated, and I made noises that I didn't think a human being could make.
Honest, I love when that happens.
I sounded like an Exorcist video.
Oh, that's great. That's the best.
I was literally like, your mother sucks cock.
And the pea soup starts coming out.
Dude, I will never forget that. Met her on OkCupid.
Wow. Nice.
I could just age myself real quick.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, everything a woman has done to my butthole thus far has been incredible. So like, why wouldn't the next logical step be
get into it?
Yeah, try it out. I don't know. I'm very like I am a very try it once person.
You're
very
fantastically open-minded.
Yeah. What my big one is I want someone to burn me with a cigarette while I come.
Oh wow.
That's my big one.
While you come.
James Dean over here.
Because I've gotten burned with cigarettes before and I'm like, yeah.
Oh wow.
Very cool. Wow. Yeah, okay. There it is. But yeah, that's
gonna have to find a smoker.
But it is just the it's the juxtaposition between pleasure and pain. That has got to be fascinating to me. And also I'm also scared though, because like I'm scared that someone's gonna do that to me and my brain's gonna be like, well, that forever now. Okay, great.
Have you ever had an experience with dominatrix?
Yeah. So Hannah Harkness. Shout out Hannah. She will not.
Hannah Harkness.
She will not mind me saying this. So Hannah was sort of living, not necessarily in that world, but kind of coexisting within it. She had like a lot of friends. So I got hammered with her once at a show that Michelle Balloon used to put on in like Northern Liberty.
That cafe, yeah.
That cafe. I know exactly.
I don't remember anyone. Yeah.
Northern Comedies.
Yes. So I basically I drunkenly told her, because she was telling me about, sort of dominatrix stuff and BDSM and all this stuff. And I told her, I was like, that's something that I've always been very interested in. And she goes, well, listen, there's a convention that's coming to Voyeur. If you're interested, I know the people that are putting it on. I'll get us tickets. We'll go. So I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, absolutely, let's go.
But sidebar, over the years, one of my favorite little friendships in Philly comedy has been you and Hannah Harkness.
I love Hannah Harkness. I love her. She still will just randomly text me out of the blue. Yeah, she's great.
Okay, all right. So you went, I assume.
So there's a dress code, right? You either have to dress in kink or it's a very formal event. So it's a fundraising event, right? Okay. So I put on a 3-piece suit. I go to Butcher and Singer. I drink 3 martinis, and then I meet Hannah at this BDSM convention. And I walk in and it is a mind fuck on a level that like you could not believe, because it's all this stuff, because like, especially being so inundated with porn, it's like you've seen this, but you've never like been in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is like it is a tidal wave of like, holy shit. And you also don't want to be the guy that looks and feels awkward at a BDSM convention. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to go in with like, yeah, this is normal. Where's the bar? So anyway, there were these things they called them PlayStations, but there was these things where you could donate a certain amount of money. Okay. And then these people, these dominatrixes, dominatrix.
So these people.
Anyway, these dumb whores. They're all around. Okay, I'm sorry. I support sex work. But they have these little stations set up where you can donate a certain amount of money and they will do stuff to you. And God bless Hannah, dude. She took me by the hand And like every station we went up to was just like, hey, like it's his first time, like, you know, he's interested in this. And also this, I give dominatrixes,
the expert.
They were so, you know, because this is what's so wonderful about that world is you really only see the end result of it. You really only see them, you know, being horrible to you. But what you don't see is them like really talking about safe words and communication. And like, I want you to be comfortable. And if I do something to you that you don't like, you have to tell me. Like, there's really, before you go online and see a guy get punched in the balls, there's a long conversation that those two have about whether it's okay to do it or not. So it's a very, that's the thing with being in a very sex positive environment, is that sort of communication, is letting people know like what's okay and what's not okay.
Oh yeah.
So
love that.
Yeah. So the first place she takes us to is this woman had this like wand that was like a taser. It was like an electroshock thing. And she was like, okay, so dress down to your comfort level. So I immediately get naked. Because I'm like, listen, fucking Alice didn't get halfway down the rabbit hole.
You don't feel uncomfortable.
I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
This woman shocked the fucking shit out of me. It was amazing. And then by the end of the night, I had been shocked, whipped, gagged, suspended. It was wild.
Suspended by what?
Oh my God.
Ropes.
Wow.
Okay.
You did a rope play?
Yeah, because I was like, well, fuck it. I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, and again, it's like, you know, and also, of course, there was that part of my brain where it's like, this will be funny later. Like, you know, obviously.
And then it was never funny because of how much it turned you on.
Right, yeah, exactly. I never brought it up ever.
Funny at all.
Yeah.
Oh, God. There was actually.
Yeah, so I got to get to like, I got literally what normally takes people years to figure out what they're into. I got to get a crash course of it in like 3 hours, which was great because now I know, like, I don't like being gagged.
Oh yeah, gagging.
I don't.
Specifically.
Well, I'm a vocal person, so it's like I want to hear you, or I also want to talk. Like I don't like being gagged. Did not really like being suspended, but it's like love getting shocked. Love getting whipped.
All right.
Love it. You know what's funny is actually I met up with a bunch. By the time I left, I was at that point 7 martinis deep, and I was just like, I have got to go. And I met up with a bunch of comics at a diner, and I sit down, and I'm just kind of like doing that like 1,000-yard stare. And John Del Calo looks at me and he goes, "Dude, you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, "I don't know. You just seem really calm right now."
Oh my God.
Well, Lou,
this has been lovely.
We're dating now, by the way. So you're part of this throuple.
Love it.
And yeah, we're gonna have a lot of it. It's just great.
That's
where can people?
we're gonna get the belt. All right,
let's get the belt. Good night.
You know what is an amazing idea, Rachel?
What's an amazing idea?
Liking and subscribing.
Oh my God, you're very, very right.
To us.
To us at we.r.datingpod on Instagram, and you can find us under that on YouTube as well.
That's right. That's we.r.datingpod, and that's the letter R.
Yeah, that was my bad.
You'll figure it out.
Hey, how you doing? This is Neil Wood, one of the co-owners of Drop 10 Media Network and who helps run Biggest Little Comedy. You can check out all the other stuff we do at drop10.com. We've got podcasts, live comedy shows, and so much more. Go over there, support your favorite podcasts, follow them, subscribe. We appreciate it. Again, we're 100% DIY, just a bunch of creatives trying to make it in this, and give us some feedback. We always enjoy a little feedback. Thanks.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.